leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind. We made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. They probably should have like had someone watch her, but she was being discharged anyway, right? It doesn't matter. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yes, it's late. And? It's not Naruhodo? Did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspear, Mr. Garridow's lodgings, convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway. Can't help wondering about the result of the analysis. Enter Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes. Will they have found strychnine in it or not? Well, I fear that either way. It will be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Baruch Van Zeeks. But I wish you every success, of course. And though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at crisp hour and attend the trial. Hey, Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Indeed. Whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Miss Natsume's cause until the very end. I wanna... London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind brick-up windows, a lonely lurk. Soseki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. And so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriots, to lift the curse that had gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn, for all of us. We continue, I want to keep going though. It's been less than 2 hours. We can keep going, right? I'm gonna regret it, but I want to keep going. I want to get to the. I think it's gonna be very long to get to the end of this, but I want to see what happens. I want to know what happens. We didn't even do that deduction, the whatever thing with Sherlock that I thought. Oh man, so I still don't fully know like what everything means. We know that the convicted criminal was staying in the building. We know that a young art school boy was living there and died from a gas leak because he suffocated in there because there's no windows. And then Shamspear was supposedly poisoned by something, strychnine, which they still haven't even explained what kind of poison that is. Like, where do you typically find it in? Do you find it in gas? Or did he get poisoned? I don't know. Against better judgment, I'm gonna keep going. I know I'm gonna regret it. I know that this first part of the trial is gonna be long, but I'm gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go. Let's go! That made me break into a sweat. That made me fucking... Oh man, I almost fucking just doubled back and left. Jesus. This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Mrs. Sato. Suffering Soseki selfishly sidelined! Yeah, well, had enough of your shit. Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning! Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Listen to you two, chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here! Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause you offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seems wrong to disturb you. I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally. That's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see. It's a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I thought you wanted to be a cat. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Miss Natsume.
That was just an example!
Oh my god, you're so annoying. Shut up. Oh yes, there it is. In your calm.
You barely came to see me at all yesterday.
I was trying to find things to help your case, you idiot. I can't baby you. Go find yourself a nanny if you want company.
I was sure you'd abandon me and return to our beautiful long-lost homeland.
We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet.
Yes, well anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself.
Oh? What sort of decision?
I shall fairly win after the trial.
That he's gonna go home, probably. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win the battle on your own merits.
It's a very clever message, I think. Or it's a very clear message, I think. And he overslept again. You guys live in the same house, why didn't you just wait for him? Or like wake him up? Great detective, my arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant, and your legal representative. The trial is about to begin. Make your way to the courtroom immediately. Okay.
Today, once again, we faced a Reaper. Before, actually, we didn't get a whole lot of new things, right? We only got these 3 things, which the wall still needs to be accounted for. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client, and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. We got this.
I was just hoping that this is not going to be a super long case. Or trial. I'm praying. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready.
Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by law to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words.
I feel obliged to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my head is sitting just right. Oh, well I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me. And please, be as ruthless as you like.
What? Shut up.
Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all.
Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here and lead his flock to his righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Van Zeeks, what can you tell us? I'm a vampire. Prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday, regarding the defendant's tea.
So he does have the results. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black guard in the dock.
What?
Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Oh, what? Mario! Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a metal depression on the top of it.
Yes, that's the tea! That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night!
Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea.
And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxin substance in it. Heck yeah. Epic. No poison at all. In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear.
What a revelation!
Well, now what killed him? What are they gonna say killed him? As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is blameless here. Whoa, whoa, I was in the middle of talking. You can't just object while I'm talking. My learned Japanese, what? My learned Japanese. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. Typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty?
My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel.
Exactly. Unfit for drinking. Just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shakespeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Gotta deal with him again? I guess that makes sense.
Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shakespeare? Yes. Sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. We didn't even talk to him that much, right? He appeared at one time in the hospital while he was messing with Olive Green or something, and that was it. Oh, but he did like change. He did have like a second phase of sorts where he bent his rod, and he wasn't talking in the Shakespearean language. So, I imagine we're gonna see that later on. So maybe he's probably the one who did it to himself, honestly.
Bailiff, show Mr. Shakespeare to the stand.
Because who else could have done it, right? I don't think anyone's guilty of anything. I think he's just a sham. That's his name, Sham. Yeah. Mr. William Shakespeare, victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shakespeare, did have a bellyful of the foul liquid given in mine innocence.
Yes, it was revealed in yesterday's proceedings. The witness is not as innocent as we have perhaps heard. The witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe.
By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shakespeare, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I've forgotten, kept all that about the ice coins a tight secret, didn't ya? You should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say! Arrest him at once! And let him feel the sting of my tail! Oh, indeed! By dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their death. And for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. What? Oh wait, that's the same thing that Sherlock did before. Wouldn't that a still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. What, is he chopping the air? What is he doing? But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be killed. What? Okay. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shakespeare? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Why am I so tired? I haven't even done anything.
Very well. Let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is the poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea.
I ate soap, sir. Cider, sir. Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lip. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coin of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that poison not be found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. Okay, so I imagine that the contradiction here is that Sosaki's teacup didn't have the stain on it. Yeah, probably. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Right. Otherwise it would be disastrous. The poisoner would have mixed up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Cause, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. Absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shakespeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to the sound of my fake staff. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare.
Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. Looks so dapper in this costume. I love it. Not this guy. Not Jester Man. Talking about fucking Naruhodo. Let's just press everything. Why not? Sure. I understand that you are already acquainted with Mr. Natsume. Is that correct? I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know that thy destiny mingles with mine. I'm already having a hard time reading proper English as is. This fucking Shakespeare English isn't helping me. You lost me at the first thee. Zounds, sir, thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turns thy hand to lawyering. Shut up. I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture. Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine flavored brew, though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as a thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth. Listen to Mr. Shakespeare. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday. Either that, or I'm in worse form. That fated evening, after I did dine, at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first. Oh, you're exhausting, man. It was in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly put the property. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea? To have witnessed the act and then drink the tea, that thou describe the actions of a fool.
Quite so.
But no one likes going thirsty, do they? Sooner would I die quenched than parched. Would I have the choice? Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it? Were it not for the tea, in sooth, I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched. Right, no ice coins means no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shakespeare, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea to which he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege. Was feigning distraction in our debate in But the teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim. Drink tea while it's hot. I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup and contents spilled, as blood from a gaping wound, methinks. Though certainly 'twas after I'd made the coins of ice from his tea. So he drank it, was feeling hurted, and then spilled the tea over? Or is he talking about maybe after he had already left? Maybe. An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here. It's true, there was no tea left in either cups that we found at the scene. But still, something about this statement is troubling me. Yes, of course, I know what it is. Mr. Natsume's wise, drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? No, I'm not sure that's it.
Thank your witness. Now reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guest had left and before you drank your tea.
So can I... Is it here? It sounds like it would be here. It is here, okay. You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea at the night in question. But that's impossible. How? Top logic? What is that word? What is this, ye dark, e-clad fiend? What? God, I didn't understand any of those words. The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible?
What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, tea ring. Commonplace enough.
Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in a cup for a while.
Yeah, my cup is fucking stained to shit and I have no idea how to clean it out. I just leave it to stain and I still drink from it because I can't figure it out. It's not that I can't figure it out, I'm too lazy to figure it out. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Lord, you're right. It's completely clean.
And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea while it's hot. Bravo. That's right. Yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well, after the several hours the tea was left standing. In short, Mrs. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court. You thief to another. What does that mean? What? Oh my god, he drinks. I feel like it doesn't happen often enough that I forget that he does that sometimes. What? Does he? Oh, I guess he must. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. Might want to keep that information to yourself. Does he? Has anyone been counting? I haven't been. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me, and I pour more time than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. Can you fill a cup 7 times with that bottle? I would have thought you would have emptied it out by then. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shakespeare. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused cup, could it be you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. But now you're just feeding him lies. You're feeding him things to put into his fucking... Faith, my liege, thou art the magician. Or verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. Whoops, wrong button, sorry, I was distracted by... Why is it... Sorry, I was distracted by something on my Joy-Con. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dredge that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. But didn't you just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? I thought that tea was brought by Soseki. Wouldn't he have taken back this teapot if he had poured his own tea? Or he brought his own tea? It wouldn't be in the teapot from him. It wouldn't be in the teapot from Mr. Shamspear, right? Are we supposed to believe that? People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, the spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. Prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No! What does this mean then?
I do declare it means that there's no issue with the guy Steve's testimony.
Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. Why are you mad? Whoa, whoa, whoa. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favorite, a broth as would be as called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad. As insalubrious. What? Insalubrious. Maybe? Insalubrious. As salubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seemed fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. What? I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspear doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord. What? Oh. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been duped by the rotten defense lawyer. By me?
I do declare you may be right.
We all know that the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. This lawyer had said if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He'd been leading us up the garden path. That's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. What we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. Court acknowledges the position of the juror foreman, and will duly hear the juror's findings. What? No! You can't yet! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Yuzai.
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 Yuzai. Yuzai.
Yeah, we get it. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy days! How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well.
The court upholds the defense's right.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. First, the court calls upon each of you. State the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which she is charged.
Okay. I just realized that the back of their chairs that turns white or black depending on when they vote guilty or not guilty. I thought it was always like a banner the entire time, but it looks like it's just the back of their chairs. So their chairs just change color? What is this magic? I'm a man of logic, me. And having considered all the evidence, the defendant must be logically guilty.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
Stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is.
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
Well, if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there is no other explanation, is there?
I do feel that perhaps personal opinions about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind. What did he say? How did I completely didn't take in what he just said. Personal opinions about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. Oh, okay.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hope. And Mr. Shamsphere was poisoned. There could be no doubt of that.
And then how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamsphere was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it though, Mr. Natsume will
be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Well, I don't fucking know. I don't even know what. Okay. All the evidence, you say. Did I say that loud enough? I hope I did.
That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache.
Says the English man with the bigger mustache.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
Only we had that kind of evidence. Okay, so I have to come back to him later.
Don't worry, the summation examination has barely started. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Blech. Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Okay?
And you agree that gas is far too expensive.
This isn't a time or place to be discussing the price of gas, madame.
But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should Alamut gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
This isn't the time or place to be ruthless either.
If I might interject here.
Yes, madame?
It seems that my fellow jurors take an issue with the price of our company charges for gas.
But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up.
Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders. What am I trying to say? That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable.
Aren't you talking about the wrong person? No. Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes.
Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
My god. Stumbling everywhere. Stuff explodes and poison you. It's absolutely lethal. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir?
Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time.
You'd take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
What? Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Why are you defending? What are you doing? Shut up! You're right. I hadn't considered that at all.
Young lawyer man,
Yes?
you have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative.
Ooh, you can make good money with that. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. What? What happened? What'd you do?
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver around the city and maintain the pipes.
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas?
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
What? Oh my god, her accent is going everywhere. She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisoning. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
What? An explosion would hardly be described as nothing, madame. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even in the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know?
What? My god, I'm like, I can't get her. I can't can't talk. More devious. Who but that?
Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and we deliver to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madame. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are others, unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
What? What if they don't have any gas? How do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes, and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours, without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes legally, illegally. What a brazen form of theft! When we visit a customer's house to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
I'm okay. I'm okay. You okay? I'm okay. Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself.
I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I just got a little riled about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask you for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in.
And do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets here.
What? What are you talking?
Oh, please. Everyone knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell.
What? What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind.
What are you talking about? Blowing into...
As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
So whenever Garadeb saw his lights flickering, Oops, wrong button. I meant... He was blowing into that light? To drop the For what purpose, though? Like, what does that do for him?
Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flickers, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipes with all of his might, and you can guess what happened, can you? Oh well, you blew hard, then...
Wait, you mean...
That's right, the lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house.
What a disaster!
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because of the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Oh! Was, but was Shamspear trying to do that to Natsume's room? So that he would die from gas asphyxiation and then he could have that room to go find the treasure or something that Selden left? Is that what it is? Is that the idea? Possibly. Maybe. Why else would you blow into a fucking light?
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3. The defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like. I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that's trying to diddle us.
Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Yeah, if it's happening in someone's house, of course they're gonna see you doing it.
Very well. Juror number 3. You will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. But you wouldn't know because you don't know what I have in my hands. Blow too hard into the gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house and then you're in real trouble.
Gas doesn't come for free. Blah, 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 blah.
Hey, truth be told, you mean it's poisoned? That's right. It's happened a tiny few times now.
This is the most troubling indeed.
Always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it. My wife. She gets that devilish look on her face. She slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway. Is it like sugar? What? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. What happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. Oh, she's just giving you salted tea. Okay.
And then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
Oh! So, she doesn't even care enough to poison it properly, eh? Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Let's move on, please.
Nothing else past the victim's lips that night. There's no explanation, is there?
His lippy lips touched the lighty. What is strychnine though? I still haven't been given an explanation as to what that is. Do you find that in pipes? Do you find that in metal? Do you find that in lights? Do you find that on a wall? Like, what? Does that mean that the victim could have been shown to have ingested something else? You changed your leaning. Sorry. What's that now? I was just saying, if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on that night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said if nothing else passed the victim's lip that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? How do you do an old man's voice? Yeah, there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
I suppose. The trouble is.
Yes, selective hearing.
Exactly. But still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we are so desperately need. Ugh, this is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamsphere was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way, and not via Mr. Natsume's tea.
Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Oh? Like what?
It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else said. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course.
What? No, I already did it. Once again, Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer. No, I don't need it! Perhaps I ought to let Susato remind me. Then again, no. We know it. We've done it already. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible.
Of course. I'm sure you're right. But if you decide that you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask Mr. Naruhodo.
I already got it. So I just have to... Is it just like I pit 3 with... Do I pit...
Oh, I fucking pressed the wrong button!
Okay, let's try this again. Press the right button. X. With... here? Okay, cool. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious. Whose statement do you prefer, counsel?
Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a matter of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there's any traces of poison there. I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe. Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
What a piece of work is a man!
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamsphere?
What speakest thou? For thee is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir!
Isn't he behind you? You're not even looking at him. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been at the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord!